How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we're in the last week of our GAC and I am in the finals, guys, so I'm quite glad to be in the finals. I've got to say, in this particular 3v3 I seldom get to the finals, so I'm pretty excited about this one. So having a look at our matchup, we're up against York Union 7. About 3k discrepancy in terms of GP. I do have the edge in the top 80 as I've risen up a bracket in 2.3. And having a look at our relics, relic 7's pretty matched up. We both have about the same in terms of lifetime banners. Now the big difference here, guys, is the mods, as I do have an edge in terms of the speeds. I have about 11 more plus 20 and about 60 more plus 15. Now the interesting thing about this matchup is that this gent has Sith Eternal Emperor as opposed to Jedi Master Luke, which is quite rare for me to go against. I believe I've only ever gone against another opponent that does have Sith Eternal Emperor. But as you're about to see, this guy actually placed Sith Eternal Emperor on defense. So there aren't many instances where I was able to practice against that particular lineup, so I won't spoil you guys, but should be quite exciting. So having a look here, guys, on the bottom front walls, we've got Rey, we've got Sith Eternal Emperor, and we've got Finn. And that Rey squad is no pushover as it does have Han Solo and Chewbacca. In the top, he did place Imperial Troopers, Grievous, Dooku with Nest, and we've got Newt Gunray, Droideka, and Magna Guard. Now, what I've built my offensive lineup for is more being able to full clear, so I'm not really looking to be very efficient in terms of banners, as I'm really looking to trip my opponent, hopefully. And this is one of the battles that was actually a huge risk, as I've never been able to attempt this before. However, in 5v5, I do believe that Kylo just obliterates Sith Eternal Emperor. As you can see, we're in the yellow. We were able to make quick work of the two Sith, but Kylo is insane. And although we don't get the ideal amount of banners that we want, that's still a pretty solid use for Kylo, as we did kill off a galactic legend. And now we've got Rey against Rey in a mirror matchup. Now the idea here is I don't have any damage dealers on my team, so really I'm looking to take a bit of a beating in the beginning and just try and drop the health of one of the side characters and finally get to my Hurricane. And I did have enough protection up stacks that I was able to survive the opposing Hurricane. And once Chewbacca is down, the battle becomes much easier, as we really just want to cycle around and get to the Hurricane yet again. And we want to target Han Solo. Now once you've used Lifeblood a couple of times on your characters, you should be able to tank a Hurricane, which is quite pivotal in this matchup. And the other thing is I wanted to make sure that I used Rey's ultimate right after the opposing Rey uses her ultimate, and that way I'm able to tank her ultimate and I'm able to apply some damage. And what I did notice was Rey utilizing her basic does a pretty decent amount of damage on Han Solo. And I knew the opposing Rey was going to get to her ultimate. So really, I just utilized the lifeblood. So we finally get it down. We get about 53 balance there. I quite like using this counter against Finn, as really utilizing Jedi Knight Revan allows for your team to go first, and really with Grandmaster Yoda's turn meter control against Resistance Hero Finn, they shouldn't be able to take a turn, or they eventually will take a turn. However, as long as you're able to drop Resistance Hero Finn fairly early, that shouldn't be much of a problem. So having a look at the back walls, so I was half expecting for Supreme Leader Kylo to be here. However, I did realize from seeing my opponent's history that he doesn't like to set all Galactic Legends, and that just gives us the edge as he played it safe there, which is a good thing. Although the other thing that I did notice was, although my opponent went for Sith Eternal Emperor, that he does have Jedi Knight Luke as well. Now I find this particular matchup to be quite reliable in 3v3, as once you get Plague stacks out on the field on B1, really it's just about time. Then you're able to drop B1, and at this point I was hoping to stun Grievous. You get a force mark on B2, and the unfortunate thing was that my heal at this point was actually on cooldown. And my spirit did a ton of damage on that last hit, so I couldn't regain 3 more banners in that regard, as typically you would get about 51 banners in that battle. And when I had a look at the mods, I did see that my Padme was a little bit quicker than the Dooku of the opposing team, so I was able to throw that early kick at the beginning of the battle. And now really I just wanted to get past Nest, and I did hold off on attacking Jango as he had damage immunity. We did lose a ton of protection on Anakin, however we still get a decent 53 banner win. Now the idea behind this team is that having Hux in the leadership allows for him to gain dominance, and that just allows for our team to prevent the opposing lineup from gaining a ton of turn meter. However, they are doing a ton of damage as they're gaining a decent amount of stacks there. So they placed Inevitable Failure on Stark, And really, we lost this particular matchup as they were applying so much damage. So this team is no pushover on defense, guys. So if you went for Sith Eternal Emperor, I'm not sure how effective this would be on defense in 5v5. However, 3v3 is pretty awesome, as I do like using this team on offense as well. However, our bugs are overwhelming them with the counterattacks. Now against the Separatist lineup, I wanted to use CLS as I knew I wanted to get rid of Droideka as soon as possible. And now we're going to go for Newt Gunray. We get the revive there and we are stuck behind the stealth for a moment. And now Magna Guard has the taunt. So now against these Night Sisters, I did still have Vader, however I didn't have Wat Tambor, as I did remember I placed him on defense. So now I'm forced to utilize another lineup, and I did still have Scion. So we're going to use the Merciless Massacre. We're going to Force Crush here on Spirit, and we're gonna cull Daka. We did get a crucial ability block on Daka, as she wasn't able to revive at that point. Although the pesky Night Sister Spirit here keeps on regaining foresight. And I really love utilizing this team in 3v3, guys, as a lot of my opponents that I've observed actually like placing Night Sisters on defense. And this is quite effective as we've got a ton of AoEs on these characters. And more often than not, you're going to be able to drop Acolyte with those AoEs. And eventually you're going to get through up to Zombie. And there's a ton of health and protection return, so you typically get maximum banners. And this is a decently modded First Order team here, guys, as they were actually outspeeding my resistance characters here. Although I do have 2 droids, so I should have a decently fast BB-8 at the beginning of the battle. But this Kylo is doing a ton of work, as you can see. We've lost all of our protection on R2, and we are able to utilize the Illuminated Destiny. So I really wanted to get rid of OG Kylo as quickly as I possibly can. And we don't get a decent amount of banners. However, at that point, I was quite happy with the result. And now we did have the resistance heroes here, So the plan was to target and kill off Sith Trooper as quick as I possibly can and make my way through the First Order characters. So I did utilize Grievous and the Separatists as my first ship battle against Empire. And that was actually a very unfortunate miss, as I wasn't able to plant those buzz droids early on. And we do have a taunt on the Marauder ship. So we use Spy and we're able to get through the taunt. And we're just doing so much damage. I really do enjoy utilizing Malevolence on offense, guys. I find it quite reliable, and I do prefer utilizing it to Negotiator now. And I did just leave one slot open for the undersize in this particular matchup against Rebels. Or not Rebels, but Resistance. Quickly got rid of Rey's ship. And we're going to dispel that buff. We're going to drop Poe. Get Undying Loyalty out on the field. Now we bring out Plo Koon. Try and get max banners here. You did get a counterattack off. However, it's still 66 banners, which I'm quite happy about. So ultimately, that's our score, guys. 2,641. So I'm actually quite happy with that result, despite dropping one battle against that particular lineup. Now in terms of my defense, I did place Grievous, Luke, Gas, and Darth Revan, as well as Bastila Shan and Malik. In the back I did have some Separatists. I had Mon Mothma, and I had Old Ben lead with Leia and Wampa. In the top, I did place Jedi Master Luke with Bastila Shan lead, my usual Night Sister squad over there, and my 501st, as well as Poe and the vets. In the back, I like to set my Houndstooth with Empire, Underthrown lead, and my usual rebel ships. So funny enough, guys, I was monitoring where York Union would attack, and I do believe he started his attacks about 8 hours left on the clock. And it's interesting to see that he did trip against my Grievous, and Luke actually didn't get any holds. However, the Jedi Master Luke did hold, as well as Darth Revan. So I do believe he had to use his Kylo at some point in one of those teams, and ultimately he ran out of steam, as he did attempt that Bastila Shan team twice. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I do appreciate it. I will see you on the next GAC.